what you do is just the charge out rate changes based on their level of experience.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it could be, $30 an hour or $50 an hour. You can all agree, but like that $80 was quite high for the budgets of for some of the community projects I've been seeing. So you might say, $40 an hour or something like that would be a more in line. And then, you can vary that scaling. Just be mindful that like as in companies, because that number might be visible, they might feel a bit cheated if they don't perceive the value of you. So you kind of have to get like a bit of consensus about that system and how it is calculated. So I really think it depends on the needs of the people participating. I was trying to do it kind of in a traditional, like, get financed within a year. And I think I pushed it too much, actually, because we were looking to get funding to grow and compete against other competitive businesses. But from a New Zealand context for a social enterprise, that was probably too fast. So I do think it could go healthily for a year or more, and then potentially indefinitely if everybody who's kind of participating is not depending on it for their livelihood. Say if you've got more volunteer level people. But I mean, most businesses that I know of, they generally try to build momentum enough so that the project is making its own money. And so, I mean, it's somewhere in that space of, a year to several years. You probably, if it's, trying to do a serious business and, people need to earn a livelihood, I would say a year you should be looking to bake the pie. Most people, when I'm starting a business with them, if I say, like, do you want to read the book and do you want to try to do this, they generally read the book and either they're like, yeah, I get it and I want to do it, or they're like, if they're more, some of the criticisms of this have been, oh, well, you don't account for all the years that I've spent, developing relationships, and or they want to do a more traditional negotiated equity split. So that's kind of the, I guess maybe that's my take, is that if people haven't really been in the startup ecosystem very long and they don't understand it that well, they're more inclined to probably do this system because it kind of explains it all away, versus people who are very experienced in the and they want to be able to kind of be credited for their wealth of experience in this area. And you can backdate this. So when I started with ODocs, Hong had put in like a year of work, and I said, okay, well, we can either negotiate that, or you can try to go through and actually estimate how much time you put in that year. So if he said, okay, maybe I just estimate that I put in 20 hours a week for the past 12 months prior to that. So there's, you can kind of set that up and say, or you can negotiate that you have this percent and then the rest is going to go slicing pie, or a certain percentage is going to go slicing pie. So like, it's really up to you how you want to structure that. But I would suggest that you value the entire package and set a value for that, and then split the ownership based on how much of that is represented by the land and how much is represented by the business. So if you say the land is $1 million and the business is 500,000, then the land's worth 2/3 of the asset, of the combined asset. Or you can also talk about like a fair market rent, and whatever the rent, if you want to contain or not have the business owning the land or
Yeah.
contributing the land
Yeah.
to the bigger business, you can say, I will charge the business this much. Let's say it's the market value would be $2,000 a month, and but you might give it to the business for $1,000 a month, and then that would be counted as I think 4 times the actual, so it might be 4,000 a pie a month or something like that. So they could use, you can use that rental kind of fair market agreed rent as the pie contributor there.